What's good, superstars? Back with another VV video. You got Superstar Joe, you got Superstar Rob, and you got Superstar Ron in the building. How's it going, Ron?
Hello, how are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. The hand got me good. Guys, if you're new here, do not forget, become a superstar. Hit the subscribe button down below. The juju is running wild throughout the Superstar Nation, and we are very, very excited to have on our guest today, Mr. Ron English. We really appreciate you coming through. I guess, Rob, why don't you start it off with our first question here? We only have them for a limited amount of time, so I want to take advantage as much as possible.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So again, thanks for coming. We obviously, you're a big part of VV. We want to get the word out to the VV fan, put more of a spotlight on art, because right now, art's the big topic. Today, VV released the discussion about one-of-one NFTs, and yours is actually going to be the first one with David Yu and the hair there. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about your experience with the VV team, how you came to VV and how that experience has been for you?
Well, I've known David for a long time. I've seen him all over the world. He's like the world traveler. So he came to me a couple years ago before the pandemic, with the concept of this app. And actually, he was the very last person that was in our house before we went on to lockdown.
Wow.
But I think at that point he had just done, he had just interviewed Marvel, DC, Disney. I think they all signed on with him, but I don't think any of them really understood like what it was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. It was probably something that none of us saw that coming in for a while there. We pulled up on the screen here the the art. So what, how did you come up with this? This ended up being the first one. Did you discuss that with them, that you wanted it to be this, or did they pick it?
I'm his favorite artist, so yeah. I'm first. I think he wanted his. Well, we were playing with the Andy Warhol skull, and then he wanted his hair on the skull, and I was like, David, I don't think your hair is distinguished enough that people are going to know that's you. So I said, I submitted this, instead, and so I think he liked it, so he went for it.
Oh, that's awesome. I really like the colors, like everything popping. And when we first saw that image on the artworks, and we found out it was your artwork, it was really cool that they gave the first piece to somebody who's already been in the app, and you've actually produced some of the work already, even really early on. I think some of your stuff's in season 1. So I'm glad that the first one-of-one went to someone who's already been through the experience. I had a question, I guess, regarding other artists in the space. I'm not sure how tight-knit the art community is, but were you able to spread the word about Veve to some of your friends or any other artists that you know, or is it just like it's just your stuff and not your stuff only? How does that work?
Well, I'm not a curator on Veve or anything.
Yeah.
But I'm friends with Tara McPherson and Frank Kozak, and I don't think he has a lot of independent artists. I think it's mostly big companies.
Well, what is there? Maybe 5, Joe? 5 different.
Yeah, something like that. They came out with another. I think Allison Bamcat just came to the app on their most recent drop. So it's pretty cool. I mean, like, you guys are in the same light as some of these really, really big IP. So a lot of people who might not know of your work or of their works might find them through Veve. So I think it's really good marketing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great to support independent artists. We're alive, we're creating. We listen to you. We have relationships with you. Disney's dead. I mean, Disney's amazing, but Disney's,
Yeah.
I think it's a lot more interesting, and you have a lot more influence over the artists when they're actually still alive. And I think it's kind of wild that a few of us have been able to kind of go toe to toe with Marvel and Disney and DC as entities. I think the first time something like that happened for me, I was doing a tour in Australia, and I was actually the headliner, and they were having like 4,000 people in these auditoriums, and it was different creatives giving talks. But I had to go. The next to last person was Lucasfilms, and the guy was showing the art made by 7,000 people. And then I thought, oh my God, now I'm going to come out last, and I'm just one guy, And then I realized it's kind of there's something magical about this is just one person. This is one person's vision. And if you think about society, or a lot of times things are started by a poet, like with a pencil, and things aren't spectacular and weird, but it's really about what's it like to be an individual. So there's kind of a lot of power in that. It's interesting.
Yeah, and that's true, because we noticed, like, from your art, right? It's almost, I think you said in a previous interview that you were on a mission to bring art back to the people, and now you're doing it through a digital market. Like, how
Yeah.
do you feel about that digital market now being part of the game?
Well, I mean, I totally embraced the digital market. I almost felt like that was something I was waiting for my whole life. I've always created the music. It's always, stood alone, away from the art. I've always created the art. I've always made the videos. So all these different disciplines have always existed, but they never have been able to come together. There was never the vehicle to bring them all together. And this is kind of, for me, this was it. This was the magic that brought the music and the art and everything together.
Yeah, I think it's cool too for you guys that I think you get a little bit of a licensing fee or something every time someone buys or sells, right? So it's not like you sell your one art piece and then that's the rake and that's it. Like it's continual, I think, for you guys, right? So that's pretty cool for the art community as well, the artists at least.
Yeah, and I think that in a way, digital art's a lot more durable. Like I had a really fantastic card collection when I was a kid, and my mother threw it away. So and that's always been kind of an issue of maintaining your collection, and it isn't an issue with the digital stuff. And also, it just is a weird thing. Is like I lived in a very, very small town way back a long time ago, and like if you happen to be a stamp collector or something, you weren't going to find a community. You know what I mean? You had to be maybe there was one other 70-year-old dude that's collected stamps and you're 14, and weird interface. But now if you're into something, you can share your passion with people. Like in Hong Kong, you can share your passion with people in South Africa. You can find your community, all over the world.
Yeah.
Do you think that with the digital space now, that maybe younger artists may be more encouraged to go into the space? Is it almost an easier accessibility to income in a sense because of how now you're almost global with your art through every perpetual fees on transactions, etc.?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
Wow. What is it? I think it's a weird time to be an artist, and it was interesting. I was talking to an art teacher last night, and I said that the students must be very excited about the NFT and especially the AI art and all these new developments. And he said, well, he said half of them are like super excited and so proud to be, or so excited to be alive in this time when all these insane things are happening, and the other half is like, you're not going to be able to be an artist anymore. It's like we've our whole life wanted to be artists, and now we're going through art school and getting ready to have our own art careers, and the whole art world just got destroyed by AI. So I think, I don't know. My philosophy has always been, just you can't stop any of this stuff, so why not join in? You know what I mean? And I've had quite an interesting career because I've been around for a very, very long time. So I was part of graffiti. I was part of street art. I was part of lowbrow. I was part of pop surrealism. So it's kind of like I just ride every wave that comes in, and this is the next wave. And I would prefer to be the kind of person that embraces something and not, becomes intimidated by it. You know what I mean? If it becomes easier for everybody to make art, well, that's great. That means I have to make even better art. Or do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So
it's gonna, just to go off on the AI thing just for a minute, but it's like right now that you can create these fantastical images, and obviously the derivative of all the artists that have come before, and this wouldn't be able to exist except standing on the shoulders of Dali and all these great people before. But now it can be manipulated, and you can create something that's fantastic just by using your words. So what happens next? I mean, are we going to be able to create? I have my band is called The Rabbits. It's with 3 B's. You have to misspell it to find it. It's a little secret, but it's amazing. I think we have 10 albums out in the last 5 years. But I might be able to create this music without having a band at some point. I mean, I might be able to just verbally tell my computer what kind of bass line I want in this and what kind of vocal I want in this, and it doesn't even have to be my vocal, or it doesn't have to be the vocal of a great opera singer. It can be, the computer can create that from what I'm asking it to do, and yeah, that's very scary because maybe it's going to put a lot of musicians out of business, or maybe we're gonna figure it out and everything's gonna become better because now we can all be musicians. Now we can all be artists. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was Jack Ma, who was the previous CEO of a very large company, who mentioned that maybe the AI can be beat on creativity. That AI will always beat humans when it comes to the actual mathematical aspect of it, but maybe at creativity, that's where humans will find a way to always stand out.
Well, the thing is as of yet, it's not really creative. It does remixes of things, and it does remixes of the most fantastical things created by mankind in the history of the world. So yeah, it's kind of weird that yes, some will have the feel and the look of greatness, but the weird thing that begins it all, the weird line of poetry or the weird political thought or the original thought or the weird thought that comes out of George Carlin's head and that nobody's ever had before. Computer can't do that. All it can do is remix stuff that's already been made. So the people that are truly original thinkers, we'll always need them. Now, a lot of artists that we know have been remixers, and they may be zero originality, to their oeuvre, but so maybe they might be in a bit of trouble and have some competition. But people who actually do generate original thoughts, will always be needed, and I don't think computers will ever be able to do that.
No, exactly. I think that's to the point, like Rob said, exactly about how creativity is that one aspect that sure the computer can remix, like you're saying, but you'll never bring that individual thought process behind it to life by going through that computer remix, like you would if someone was, like you said, poetry and all these other other
well,
artworks.
it can't make your concept look like a Salvador Dali if there had never been a Salvador Dali.
There you go.
There has to be the original at some point.
You need the precedence. So you spoke to your musical interests and the rabbits. Also, we did a little bit of research and we watched a couple of the other interviews that you've done, and we noticed you spoke to a jukebox project that you were looking into that you have a bunch of developers working on. Do you have any update on that? How long it'll take? It might take a while. I'm not sure. It's something that's never been done before, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So,
well,
what's the plans for that?
It's one thing to say I'm going to do a project and I'm going to take off the shelf technology and create the project, and it's probably rather easy, in a lot of aspects to approach things that way. But I went to David and said I have a completely new idea, and it's a new way to disseminate music. And I would be surprised if we pulled it off in 2 years. Maybe we'll pull it off, in the next 6 months. I don't know, but it's a very, very ambitious concept that takes a lot of tech. And you're always up against real life. And the crew that we actually had working on developing the technology to create the jukebox, guess where they lived? They lived in the Ukraine.
Oh wow, yeah. There's a lot of.
And suddenly they just went dark. They're fighting. They're fighting to save their country. They're not worried about computer programs anymore. They're fighting for their lives. And I called David and I said, this is like, we could help. You've built this huge platform, and we should do something. And I said, well, and we came up with a project together, and we literally raised $1 million for the Ukraine to help Ukraine, for the Red Cross to help Ukraine in 0.2 of a second. So God bless this technology. This is amazing, that we were able to do something like that, and I think it brought it home to David, and it certainly brought it home to me. It's like, because we were all working together on this, and then those guys had to go fight a war,
For sure. It is truly crazy. We have it pulled up on the screen right now.
But at the same time, like these are all, sorry, 10 minutes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But, these are all young kids and they collect things, and they're I don't think they've engaged with global politics, and maybe for a lot of them, participating in that project was their first engagement with global politics. And I think a lot of people feel, impotent against these giant forces. But at the same time, it's like when you're watching TV and you realize it is the Red Cross that are pulling the women and children out and giving them food and making sure they get out safe. And then you realize, yeah, I bought a thing from Veve, but that thing, like that kid that's being fed right now, that kid's whose life's being saved right now, I helped. I did that, So like in a weird way, we connected it up to the world, through this technology. That's kind of a wild thing if you think about it, right?
For sure. And this was an example where there was a higher mint run it was more appropriate to go with a higher mint run in order to raise those funds whereas the announcement we had today is more for one of ones.
Yeah,
You,
yeah.
you as an artist, do you have a preference? Is it, like we said, situational, or do you prefer the one of ones over the high mint runs?
Well, I think that this is a one of one because he's launching a new category, and in a weird way, I mean, I know it. We're making art history, and we're making history, and we're changing everything. And David is kind of at the center of it, and none of this would have happened without him. And so I think it's kind of important that this is that it makes it an insanely important piece, and it makes it a historical piece. And to have it of him is I think it's very important. To kind of recognize him because he's put in so much effort and so much work, and I think it's important that we recognize his historical significance. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
No, I really like that because even of recent, they've been interacting with the community just like you are. We've seen the Veve team on a bunch of the other YouTube channels that cover Veve. David just recently went on Randy's channel. So it's been really cool to see how they interact with the community, and they don't just act like they're better than everybody and they're at the top. So that's really interesting. Now, the one thing that I did notice,
the thing with David is he's one of us. Do you know what I mean? He was a fan, and he created a fan site for all this art.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, he's just a fan, and he's like if you want to be a great filmmaker, you should be a fan first,
Yeah, he knows what people would want from being a collector as well, because he's one of the biggest ever. And
Right.
there's just his humbleness is just it shines bright, and everyone who speaks of David speaks kindly and nicely. So it's really nice to be part of a project where the leadership has that type of thought process and
since the
kindness.
beginning of this,
Yeah.
he's been sleeping 3 hours a night. So this is like a huge thing, and I don't think he expected it to be this big, but he's tried to stay focused and on board with it the whole time, and he hasn't taken a vacation or goofed off or bought a Ferrari or anything. He's committed.
Oh, that's awesome. So, like I said, we have this the Ukraine relief project that you pulled up on that you came up with on the screen here. This is a type of utility that these digital collectibles will have, where this one was for charity. You also had the serial killers early on, and you did airdrops. I think that might have been the first airdrop on Veve or one of. So that's another utility that you've brought to the platform or helped to introduce.
I pushed that one, but also again, back to the point of I'm not Disney. I'm not a big faceless corporation. I'm a human being, and I appreciate you guys. And I wanted to show my love and show that this means a lot to me, that people are collecting this, and that I want to have more of a utility for this stuff and be more involved. And that was kind of a way I thought of doing that. And he was very receptive to it. So.
The other cool thing was you have your light called Crypto Club project, which also seems to have some type of utility. I think the entire Veve fam community is really drawn to utility, the word utility, and we've seen it on the app, but it's not been, like you said, from one of the bigger IP like Disney or Marvel or any of them. It's been from independent artists like yourself, and to me that's really amazing that you can pave the way through your artwork, and it just gets people excited, and you see people come up with speculation videos, but it's all because of people like you who are able to come up with these ideas. I guess first I was going to ask you if you had anything to talk about for the light called Crypto Club, and then also if you have any other future ideas that maybe will never happen, but ideas for utility when it comes to your digital collectibles.
Okay, well, the concept, the underlying concept behind the light called Crypto Club is, well, first, we're bringing a lot of people into this space that have never been in the space. So we partnered with 1X Run out of Detroit. And so we do a burn for print program. So every month I've designed a new print and released it. And then anybody looks, I want out of this NFT space, I don't see, it seems like it's crashing or it's not going anywhere, I don't understand it. Then they get a print,
Mm-hmm.
and so they're made whole. And the people that want to stay on board, we use the Light Cult Crypto Club as multiple things. Like right now, we're making them physical 3D objects, and we also do big events where that they're VIP'd. So I'll be doing 115 Elro shows around the world, and anybody that's in the Light Cult Crypto Club goes not only VIP, but they go like the top level VIP if they show up and show that they're a Light Cult Crypto member. So basically, this is our forever all world backstage pass to the events that I have around the world. So anybody, when I have an event, gets to come and be VIP'd. So So yeah, it's. I just think of them like, well, it's a JPEG. But what else can it be? It's a concert ticket that's not attached to a concert. Well, I'm going to create concerts for this ticket to be attached to. You know what I mean?
Do you think you would use VV collectibles to do a similar utility at any point?
Yeah, we're talking about what we can do, and also I'm working on giving them more life than being static images, and pushing to get like more animation, and yes, as much as we can jam into the format as we can. I mean, this is a brand new thing, and I'm probably driving David crazy with all my ideas, but I think I got a lot of magical things that I want to drop on the world, and I don't know, but again, we're sorting all this out as it happens. It's like you're watching a play, but we're sitting in the back room like writing the next scene. It hasn't been written yet. You know.
Yeah, we're just watching it all play out. So any of those creative ideas, you feel comfortable sharing any of them, just to give us some speculation to hope for in the future?
Well, I think the jukebox is the most interesting thing for me, and also we're going to try to make it so like if you buy, that there's a random, like every now and then you'll get a gold record, or there'll be like special surprises built into the system. And give me 5 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I got my next appointment here.
Oh, no worries. If you're out of time, we can end. Otherwise, I have one final question I wanted to.
Yeah, give me one more question. Yeah. Sorry. It's like we book stuff every half hour all day long. It's crazy.
No problem. The last question we had was just interpretability, because this is a big thing in the VV world. Whereas right now, all NFTs are in the VV app, and the hope is that potentially one day we can take them off. Would you be open to allowing them being taken off app? Do you want that? What's your opinion on that?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
We're having negotiations with building different games and different things. So we want to build a lot of things that you can bring into the games and to the other things, and maybe even 3D print in your house or whatever. So amazing. Yeah, we're looking to open the whole world up. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Well, thanks a lot.
That's really awesome.
That was a lot of fun. Thanks, guys.
We appreciate you coming through.
Okay.
And you have amazing ideas. So thank you.
Yeah. I'll come back next year, and hopefully all the stuff will have played out, and then we'll be talking about what's next, right?
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. We'll see it play out. Thank you so much.
All right. Cool, man. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So, guys, that was awesome. We had Ron English on the channel. He gave us a little bit of insight. We only had him for a short amount of time. We tried to get in as many questions as we could that we feel like that covered the most amount of questions that we've seen when it comes to artwork, utility. We had a couple more, but we didn't get to them, but that's okay. We just thought being able to connect with one of the artists that are actually on the app would have been nice for you guys to watch. And I don't know, let us know what you guys thought in the comments down below. I'm really curious to hear what you thought of Ron's interview there, and anything else that you have regarding speculation of maybe different types of utility that could come to artwork. Now that we got this 101, actually, Rob, we didn't even talk about it, but I'm going to pull it up quickly. Just because of the shortness of time. Oops, that's yours. So if you win the silent auction, the winner of this piece will have the opportunity to bring 3 friends to lunch or dinner with Mr. David Yu himself, geography permitting. This is your chance to have a Collector 9000 chat with David during an upcoming con or VV event, or in New Zealand if you're local. If the event is in New York, Ron English will also join if available. So that's wild. I mean, that's the utility that we've been looking for these pieces. I wonder if there will ever be a continued utility, or if it's going to be like a one-time utility. Still, that's an awesome thing. But it's just crazy the types of things that could come from these artworks.
That's a crazy utility. I mean, he did mention a lot of things, right? We heard about the music in the jukebox, which he mentioned in a previous video before. Yep. I can't remember the YouTuber's name, but they're a small YouTuber. So thank you guys for bringing that up. And then another one is that he mentioned about he absolutely wants interpretability. He wants to take his stuff off app and give that option. He has other NFT projects where he has like burning. You can burn your collectible to get the physical value. I won't be surprised if that happens on Veve. There's been a lot of talk about burning and why anyone would want to do that. That would be an example of utility where someone may want to burn it to get the physical thing. He talked about, of course, his Ukraine project, how he was happy to find a way to change the world, and how he's not Disney. You think anyone from Disney's coming on our channel if we just message them out of the blue and say, hey, come? We got your 101 artwork. Hey, we want to talk about it. Sure, no problem. I'll jump on. So, Of course, thank you so much, superstar Ron English, for joining us today.
Let's give him a standing O, Rob.
We didn't even have a chance to give him a standing O.
Hopefully he watches this.
I hope he watches this. Our typical standing O. Yeah, it yeah, he had to go, but that's okay. You can rewatch the video. You can see the standing O. Thank you so much. Let us know below what you guys think about today's video. Give us your thoughts. We got some breaking news now with the new artwork tab. It's going to get real interesting with these one-on-ones and utility that might come. So let us know below if you're going for it. Maybe somebody there wants some lunch with David, you, and Ron English. All right, let's see what you got, Joe.
Let's open one up for the VIP, guys. Sorry we didn't go through the whole list. You saw how much of a time crunch we were on, but we have this thing from Star Wars.
Oh, yeah?
What do you call it, Rob?
One of the flyers? I actually don't know. I'm not sure what that is. One of the flyers on the spaceships.
Anyways, it's a Star Wars space. We're gonna get destroyed in the comments for not knowing what that's called.
The Falcon 1 or something? Who knows what it is? I can't tell from here what
guys,
it is.
We were distracted. We just had an awesome interview with awesome guy. Rob, take it away.
All right, if you haven't already, smash the subscribe button. Join the Superstar Fam. We can't wait to hear from you guys. I think it was an incredible interview we had with Ron English. Let us know below. Make sure you hit the bell button. Now you can also become a Superstar VIP, $2.99 a month. Get the common, uncommon. Now we're starting. Maybe we'll see some rares coming soon. I don't know. But of course, get our spreadsheet. Get access to what we're buying. We actually had to purchase a couple of Ron English collectibles so we could take AR photos with them to help kind of create some Easter eggs for you guys out there. So that's why people were wondering, what are you guys doing? Why you guys? Well, we're doing that because we want to promo this video that's going to be coming out. And
if you're in the VIP, you would have seen all the Ron English purchases ahead of time. But no, we ended up posting a bunch on Twitter as well, so you would have saw them there.
Yeah, and then we were posting the AR photos on Twitter as well. Yeah. So again, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.